How many minutes? Okay. Good evening, Nigeria, and good evening, my fellow Nigerian youths. I hope that it's been a productive week for you. I hope it's been a productive week for you and for every one of those that concerns you. Above all, what's your weather like? It's been a rainy day here in Abuja, and I'm also told it's been raining in a few parts of Nigeria. So let me apologize first on behalf of any of our mobile networks and telecom networks that may not allow you to connect today, or that you may have some type of a weak connection because of the weather condition in your location. But having said that, the good thing about this medium and the good thing about technology is that you're able to rewatch this, and you're also able to, you would, I'm sure, in some days, and in some days you will get the live transcript. So today, my focus is primarily for the 2017 applicants who are now who before now have been pre-selected, and I'm happy to say that as of today, I can say that you are finally selected. So firstly, let me start by congratulating you and saying that your long wait is now over. I've often said to you that this government is a government that means what they say. And yes, things may delay sometimes. The delay many times is not intentional. We need to understand that a whole lot of things come together, a whole lot of cycles, a whole lot of process come together to make happen whatever it is that you and I get to enjoy or get to benefit from as Nigerians. And so please, well, one thing is certain: we keep our promise, and that is exactly what we've done this week by announcing to you. I do know that when I had the last Facebook chat end of June, a whole lot of you were having queries around. You wanted specific in June, a specific date in June, a specific date in June. Well, I'm glad to say that now, a specific date in July, but I'm glad to announce now that you do have your specific dates. You all would be formally engaged into payroll of the Empower Batch 2 volunteers from August 1st, 2018. So that's what it means. August 1st, 2018 is your formal date of engagement. Just as you have your colleagues in the Batch 1 that had a formal date of engagement as December 1st, 2016, your formal date of engagement is August 1st, 2018. Now, why am I saying this? You also need to understand that before you can have an end, just as you have now the end of a process, there are processes that happen. And I don't know why in those processes, I've seen a lot of you come on social media and talking about you want to be paid for going through a process. I don't understand. So you are basically saying I should pay you for application period, or that we should pay you for the period you were still going through an application process, writing your test, or the period of physical verification, or the period of onboarding. I think it's important, and that's why I say that I'm speaking to the 2017. What is important for you to understand, this whole community of Empower volunteers that you are being inducted into is a community of serious business. It's a community wherein we pay for work done, and it's a community that I would also encourage all of your senior colleagues now, those who are in the 2016 batch, who I like to say are now veterans in the Empower process and in the Empower family. I'm sure they would also play a lot of role in this engagement with you, to let you know that it's money for work done. As I've often said to them, and I say to you now, that Empower is not it's not money for the boys. It's not neither is it money for the girls. It's not money what you call money by the side. It's not that. Empower basically is a lifeline that has been extended by Mr. President himself, President Muhammadu Buhari, and to you as Nigerian youths, to say that for the fact that you have been unemployed for a few years or for a few months, but you are in the unemployed category, this is a lifeline that has been extended to you to empower you. It's a lifeline that has got a time date. It's a lifeline. It's a 2-year full-time paid volunteer program wherein you volunteer in any of the 3 categories of your choice. You must know that no one allotted any one of it for you. You've allotted yourselves to either be in the teaching category where you work as teaching assistants in our public schools, and or in the health category where you support our community primary health centers, every capacity that they may deem fit, and you also support our farmers in the rural community as agric extension advisors. So that's what you have signed up to. It is a community experience that allows you as well to learn, because your learning is what we asked you to start in the month of May. So when I reached out to you and we announced and said that you should go and onboard yourself onto the portal for those of you who were pre-selected, such that you can begin to learn. That's the Empower. That's the beginning of Empower. Empower is a learn, it's a walk, and it's an entrepreneurship program. So your learning, rather than your learning commencing from August 1, you have an advantage that the 2016 batch did not have. And that's the advantage that you started, or you ought to have started learning since the month of May. And let's understand that all the materials you've encountered and you will continue to encounter throughout your 2-year period are investments. These materials have been paid for by the federal government of Nigeria on your behalf. And so for me, really, you should all be appreciative of these investments that have been extended to you and to which you now have access to, rather than demanding that, because I got onboarded in May, someone is owing you some stipend and demanding for backlogs. Please, that should not be counted as the spirit and the attitude of Empower volunteers. And I'm sure beyond this chat, your fellow veterans, the 2016 batch, would also be able to lend a conversation to this and be able to, further indoctrinate you or induct you into the ethos of the Empower program. Let me say to you that, as you know, learning never stops. So every opportunity to learn, you should grab it with both hands. And so I celebrate and salute those of you, because we've gotten feedback from those of you who've been using and engaging with the learning material in preparation for a day called August 1, when you will now be required to begin to apply those learnings in your work postings. So please, there is and there cannot be any form of stipends payments prior to August 1. If you also recall my chat in the month of May, I had said to you that there were 3 components of Empower. 1 is the ability to learn. 2 is the ability to work, hence you can earn. And 3 is the aspect of being able to select a device. No, I did say to you at the time that whilst 3/3 makes up Empower, I could not commit to you earlier than then regarding 2, which is work for you to earn, and 3, which is about device selection. But I could commit to you, and I did in that month of May, to say, or maybe at the chat in end of April, one of the two at that point, I did say to you that I could commit to you that we were going to onboard you onto the MPVN platform, wherein you can then begin to access your learning. Now, that we onboarded you into that platform was not in any way an instruction or an engagement for payment. So please, I hope this will be the end of that. I hope that I will not have to read up on it. And anytime we hear that again, we will consider that being mischievous and we may have to take actions against you. But please understand that when you come into the program, there are rules of engagement. Again, as you get into your formal engagement from August 1, even in preparation to August 1, we will continue to share with you the rules of engagement of and for Empower. It's a full-time engagement. Please, if you know that you have something already doing, if you are in any form of full-time learning, even if it's advanced learning, master's or PhD, that is full-time, that will not allow you concentrate or have the time to be in your primary place of assignment. If you know you're already working somewhere and your intention was to make this money by the side, if you know you're already working somewhere and you thought this was some largesse extended to you by the federal government, or if you had no intentions whatsoever to go to your primary place of assignment, may I advise you and counsel you as a brother, a brother to brother, a brother to sister, that please exit yourself from the program, or don't even confirm your attendance or your enrollment in the program, so that you know what happens. In doing that, you would be playing the role of a good citizen. And why have I said that? Let's always remember that for every one of you, the 300,000 that have been pre-selected, there's there are perhaps you are in a 1 to 300,000 to 1.8 million. So you are in a 1 to 6 ratio. There are 6 people available waiting in our waiting list that can replace you. And so the point for me is there will be really no point if you know you do not need this lifeline. You may want it. In life, we want stuff. But I think lifelines are for those who need beyond the want. So if you know you do not need this lifeline, let me encourage you as a good citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to please decline, so that all your fellow brothers and sisters who are in the waiting list may be able to utilize this opportunity for their own development as well. But for as many of you who have gone through the arduous process of the application, the testing, and then the application, the testing, the physical verification, the onboarding, all of these are pointers to me that you truly desire and you're desirous of this program. As a matter of fact, your waiting in the last few months is a further confirmation, and your continued engagement with us is a further confirmation to us that this is an opportunity well deserved, and an opportunity that truly we believe, and our principals, my principal, the president and the vice president, really do believe that is an opportunity that you should enjoy, is an opportunity as well that you should maximize to the fullest. So that's going to be what I call my general, that's what's going to be what I call my general advice to you. I want to also enjoin my 2016 batch, the veterans of Empower. Some of them may be watching me, but please, I want to enjoin each and every one of you to please join me first in welcoming our new intakes. Let's welcome them, and after welcoming them, let's also please ensure. Aha! You see, there's a clap. Good. Let me also welcome you.
Welcome!
So let me invite my 2016 batch to welcome you, and in addition to welcoming you, let me also invite them to please join me to be my hands and be my legs and be my eyes and be my feet in your various community to induct you into the Empower community. We are a family. We're a happy family, that much I can assure you. We're a happy family. We're a happy family of youths, happy family of Nigerians. We are serious, serious youths, and we do indeed maximize we do indeed maximize this opportunity. I also want to welcome you to the Hall of Fame of a lot of our volunteers who have done tremendous things with this program. I can't but continue to mention many of you across country, as I do, Sipasi, and many of you who also will continue to feature them in videos, just so that they can continue to be a source of encouragement. I can't forget those who work very closely with me, who are part of your volunteer team, the likes of Dominic and the likes of Azubike, who work assiduously, continuously, sometimes, many times, even beyond the 5 days a week that you all get paid for. And these are the stories that I want to hope would inspire you. These are the stories that I hope would encourage you. These are the stories that I hope would urge you and spur you to really give of your best, into this. You are coming in at a time when also your seniors in this program will be launching a lot of community activities. So this is also my charge to you to join them. A lot of them have seen preparations around, launching civic duties, for PVC collections, engagement in the electioneering process. As you know, we are inching closer to the electioneering process. They will be launching programs around Stop Codeine in several communities. They will be launching community development support. As schools go on the long vacation, a lot of you in your communities will be launching what you call holiday camps, holiday coaching, after school coaching programs. Please endear yourselves with these opportunities. Endear yourselves with your fellow volunteers and give of your best. Let's always remember, this is one place where the leaders of tomorrow emerge, and you all are a part of that. So having said that, I will quickly just run through what the process is between now and when you are formally deployed, and also launch what I call the email, wherein you can send questions and comments where you do have it, and I will let you go for the night so that you can go be with your family for the rest of the weekend. So as we've already announced, you have been pre-selected, and by so doing also we have already sent out your lists to your various states. Perhaps I should backtrack a bit and say to you that the way we run the Empower program, the structure of organization or rollout of the Empower program, is that we have our partners in the states that are called the state focal persons. So we'll be able to identify for you who your focal persons are. In some states, they are honorary commissioners. In some states, they are special advisors to governors. They are all very senior people in government. I'm also aware that in most states, they have set up offices, focal persons for the National Social Investment Program. Perhaps it's also worthy of you to know that you are benefiting in one of the 4 components of the National Social Investment Program. The National Social Investment Program is an investment, again, that Mr. President has put aside. 500 billion is voted every year and appropriated by the National Assembly for the Social Investment Program that comprises of Empower, which you are a beneficiary today. And then we have the homegrown school feeding, where we feed, not only do we feed our primary 1 to 3 pupils in our public primary schools, but on the back end of it, our farmers grow the food, and our women in the community cook the food and package the food for our kids in the public primary schools. The third component is the government empowerment and government enterprise empowerment program, popularly known as GEEP, where we give loans, small loans, credit to traders, artisans, and market men and women, loans from 50 to 100,000 thereabout. And the last but not the least component is really the conditional cash transfer, where we give money to the poor of the poor in our various communities, through some ranking that would have been done in assistance with the World Bank. So those are the 4 components of the National Social Investment Program, for which you are beneficiaries of one of them, which is the one that is targeted for the youth. So because of that, we have all these suites under a social investment, and in the states, we have the focal persons that have been appointed by our state governors in all the states and in FCT by the Honorable Minister of FCT to coordinate this program on our behalf. So by that, I mean that we have already sent the deployment list now to the states. And also, you would also be aware of the National Orientation Agency. They are our federal partners who are domiciled in each of the states and also in all the local governments across Nigeria. They were your first port of call, because they are the ones that worked with us to conduct the physical verification. So what we have done as of today, July 20, as we announced, is that this list of you all who are successful have been sent to the focal persons and also been copied to the state director of the National Orientation Agency. We have thus encouraged our state directors in the NOA that the same way they disseminated the list across local governments in every state to be able to physically verify you, wherein now you are now being onboarded and being formally engaged, they will also advise that you could assist us to please paste the list as well in every local government, so that some of you who still are not sure of your selection process may have the opportunity of going to check the lists at the local government secretariat. But what does that therefore mean? Now that the list is with our state partners, from Monday, which will be July 23rd, they will begin the process of deploying you to what is now going to be your primary place of assignment. Let's also remember that you will be deployed on local government basis. So there's no need for you to want to wander or meander around. You will be deployed based on the same local government you gave us as your local government or residence, wherein you also carried out your physical verification. So for someone like me in Abuja here, and if I were to be in the Empower program and I'm resident in AMAC, in the AMAC council, I would expect, that my primary place of assignment, be it the teach, be it the health center, be it the agric farm, will be within AMAC. So our state partners will do the process of, they will conduct the process of assigning you to each of you to the various primary places of assignment. And once that is completed, they will then also inform you of wherein you should come and pick up your deployment letters. Again, I would charge and counsel your seniors, my veterans in Empower, because this is community based. They will be also better. They will be able to better guide you on where to go. What I know by structure is that those who will be going to those of you who are in the teach component, your SUBEB or your local government education secretary in your local government will most likely be the ones having your letters. So when one is ready, they would communicate to you. Your phone numbers are with them. They will either send you bulk SMS, or they will go to use your various states, state broadcasting media to reach you. But I can imagine that you will pick up your letters from your local government education secretary, for those of you in the teach component. For those of you in the agri component, you are likely to pick up your letters from the agri development program in your local government, because every state has got the ADP program, agri development program, with offices in every local government. So I'm sure those of you in the agro program are likely to pick up your letters there, and those of you in the health component will likely pick up your letters in your primary health care agency, or maybe in your local government secretariat again, that's in the agency that controls the primary health care in that local government. So we would also get more information from our state partners, and continue to stay tuned with our channels, and will communicate with you. But I would want to enjoin your senior brothers and sisters in the program to please play this support role for you and be able to point you in the right direction where you will pick your letters. Now, but let me warn, please don't begin to bombard them from Monday. No. Understand that I said that August 1 is when you are formally engaged. It's also when you expect to commence work. So give or take, give our partners up until maybe Friday next week to want to now contact you to say come and pick up your letters, because there are 300,000 of you. Some states have about 8,000 of you. So by the time you disaggregate to your local government and whatever, it's quite a tedious process it can be to be deploying you. So it will take them some days and perhaps some weeks. So please just be patient with our partners, and I'm sure they would also do their best to ensure that by August 1st, they can tell you where to go to pick up your letters. Now, haven't done that, and haven't they working with us to comply, please note that once you pick up your letter, there's still one more role you need to play. And that is for you to go to the place where they have assigned you. So if they have assigned you, if you were to live in Benin City, Edo State, and they assigned you to a Motown primary school, for example, what it means is that you will take your letter to a Motown primary school to report that, sir, ma, dear headmistress or headmaster, I've been assigned here as an Empower volunteer teaching assistant, and I need you to accept me. So when you take your letter to a Motown primary school, for example, the headmaster there or the headmistress there will receive your letter and acknowledge your acceptance or your deployment into that institution, stamp your letter, or give you a deployment letter to say, yes, this is to confirm that Mr. Afolabi Imoukhuede was deployed and has thus resumed. Now, whatever it is they give you, if it is a stamp on your deployment letter that acknowledges that, yes, they have accepted your deployment, or it is that they give you an acceptance letter, however form it is, you then have a role to go back again to your MPVN portal, the same portal where you went to onboard yourself and where you went to upload your picture earlier. You have a role to go back again to that portal and upload that letter. You scan that letter, or you take a WhatsApp copy, however way, and upload it. Because only those, and you have up until August 10 to do that. Only those who by August 11 have uploaded their confirmation of resuming, because that you were deployed is not equal to resumption. Only those of you who have that confirmation of resumption at the assigned PPA uploaded on the portal by August 10. When we therefore go into the portal on August 11, only such volunteers will be processed for payment. Please bear that in mind. We are not saying this because because we do not have money to pay you. That's not the point. The point is, this is money for work done. And the first proof of me saying or me knowing that you are ready for work done is that you have gone to pick up your posting letter and you have resumed at your place of assignment, and the head of that place of assignment has confirmed by that letter or that stamp that we have resumed. It's only such people that will qualify for us to go into the August payroll that you are also desirous of. And the reason why it is August 10, your veterans in Empower will tell you, payroll cuts off on the 15th of every month. So for you to get paid at the end of every month, when you do, we cut off payroll on the 15th. Therefore, what it means is that if we don't have you by the 11th for us to collect and do all the necessary approvals and processing by the 15th so that you can get paid by August 31st, then you have nobody else but yourself to blame. And that is why we are pre-notifying you now, so that nobody begins to cry foul when that time comes. Now, the point also to note that now you went there for that first time to get acceptance, and you uploaded, and then you got paid, is not the only check. Again, I would want my veterans to let you know that we do have monitoring that happens on a monthly basis. And each month, we get reports of those who do not come to work. And when we get those reports, there's something in Empower that is called what? Payment hold. We place you on payment hold. And if after a certain time, you are not able to regularize yourself by proving that you have continued to go to work, we would exit you from the program. I think it's important for you to know this, and I'm saying this from experience and from field experience. You will not know, but your partners, your seniors in the program will know that I've had the privilege, by the grace of God, to have visited every part of this country. And I have seen, and in visiting every part of this country, I have visited all and every manner of our primary place of assignment. And I've seen, and we have, together with our state partners, instituted what is a control that we use in Empower. And so that is also the reason why Empower, by the grace of God, has also been successful, and you judge it as such. And for it to remain successful, you must abide by the rules. It is a community that is governed by rules. And like my principal taught me when I was in Federal Government College, Warri, he says no society can exist without rules. Rules exist for the common good of all in the society. To survive, every society must reward and punish. The reward for good action, so for every good action, we reward you, and the reward for bad action is punishment. So do you understand me? So please, the reason why you are all, by the grace of God, proud to associate yourselves to be the batch 2 of Empower is because your seniors and veterans in the program have stuck with the rules. We have continued to refine the rules, and it has kept it to be the brand that you now today, we induct you into it, and you will be proud bearers of it. So I'm saying this not for the benefit of the greater majority of you who I believe will maximize the time in this program, will maximize this opportunity and really use it to empower themselves beyond this opportunity. But I'm saying this for the few 1 out of every 12 that may want to test our process or may want to test the resolve of the federal government. It is a serious program, and we're one happy family, like I said, but it's a family that has got that abide by the rules. I think, having said that, I would have dealt with all issues that have been of concern, and then let me therefore say to you that we've also seen a few concerns, around the process of onboarding. Now, the point you need to know is that we had announced, and we had been announcing, and we ramped up our announcement earlier this week for some of our brothers and sisters who either though had not gone to onboard themselves. I think there had been an announcement that we have between 13 to 18,000 people thereabout that we expected to have gone to onboard themselves that have not onboarded themselves. So what does that mean? Now, the list that has gone to our state partners now was cut off at 12 midnight today, July 20. 12 midnight or 12 a.m. July 20. So if you only onboarded yourself at 12:01 July 20, or only onboarded yourself any moment beyond then, even as I'm speaking now, if you have just only onboarded yourself, then chances are that your name will not be on that list. Now, there's also nothing to worry about. We will generate, so we are happy to note that a lot more people responded to our call in this last week. We're happy to note that. So for that reason, we will generate a supplementary list. So let me then also say to those of you who really are still interested but have not gone to onboard, I know 6 p.m. was given as the deadline. 6 p.m. today was given as the deadline. We perhaps will just extend even till Sunday, Sunday night, Sunday 12 midnight, which is July 22nd. From Monday, when we all resume back to work, we will begin the process of replacement. As I said to you, and perhaps some of you also who would listen to me today and will be taught to say, I really should not deprive others because I don't need this. I may want the 30,000 at the end of the month, but I don't need this. And you really want to relinquish. You still have the time to relinquish before we exit you when we discover you are not, attending your PPA. So what it means, therefore, is that from Monday, we will begin the process of replacement. So all of you, be it those of you who onboarded after 12 midnight of earlier this morning, or those of you that we will be replacing from the waiting list, we will still process you, and at some point in time, we will send supplementary lists to the states, and wherein you can then go ahead to pick your your letters. So don't worry. At the end of the day, we got all of you. We got you covered. So don't worry. But let us start phase by phase. The good thing is, be it 13,000, be it 15,000, be it 18,000, you are less than, you're somewhat just about 5% of the total number that we require. So the greater majority of you, I congratulate you again, and I give you another clap. You know that the greater majority of you have onboarded yourself. So the greater majority of you have onboarded yourself, and you are obviously proceeding towards deployment. I'm aware that a few of you have complaints. I've seen the issue about Union Bank and UBA regarding payment account details on the portal. We are taking, for all of you who use UBA and Union Bank, we are going to review, and I'm sure within the next few days, the support team will get across to you to let you know. The support team will get across to you, and I'm sure you can also confirm once you can also confirm in your portal that you can also confirm in your portal. Sorry, I need to check something. You can also confirm on your portal that that the changes have been made. But we are definitely going to work on those of you. I reckon whilst you are onboarding your applications, because Union Bank and UBA are both used, there may have been certain challenges in the drop-down menu. But we'll rectify it. We've seen a lot of the complaints. And for those of you who still may have complaints, there's an email, volunteersupport@mpvn.ng. I'll take it again. Volunteer, VOLUNTEER, support, one word, SUPPORT. So volunteer support, one word, @mpvn.ng. Again, I'll take it again. Volunteer support, VOLUNTEER, SUPPORT, volunteer support, one word, @mpvn.ng. So if you still have a few complaints, you can send your complaints there. But complaints around account details missing, especially those of you who were in the 2016 waiting list batch, is been noted. Complaints around Union Bank, UBA is been noted. Complaints around confirmation or no confirmation. Now let me, and I've gotten complaints that some of you said because of these errors in either your bank account or maybe your first name, last name, you didn't confirm. You're right. I mean, you should not be confirming what is not accurate. And some of you actually confirmed, even though the details are not accurate. But again, all of these complaints, we are noting them, but I'm happy that it's a fewer number of you that have these complaints than the greater majority of you. So please, it's important we correct these things now. Let me tell you, just as you know, from your seniors would have told you, the advantage you have is that we have taken the opportunity to pre-validate most of you, particularly your payment details, just to ensure that on the first day when you are onboarded or after you are deployed, you don't have a payment delay challenge. So that's why we do all that we do now, just to ensure that we don't have that challenge. So please ensure that if you still have any of these complaints, you reach us swiftly. We are also committed to being able to respond swiftly. There were also complaints that some of you have edited and it was waiting pending approvals. That process has also been escalated and expedited now. So you may want to check because I know in the last 24 to 48 hours, quite a few thousands of those pending approvals have been processed. So you may want to log in again to check, and hopefully you will see that the changes you desire have already been captured. So I think that's really what it is. I don't know that there's anything. Let me commend Abdullahi Zaka from Niger State, Akim from Oshogbo, Goziem Ben from Owerri. These are some other active volunteers who are happy and are ready to show the ethos of the Empower team on this program. I think what else? Let me. Sam Uzokife, you apply for NAGRO by showing NTeach. Well, I would want to say that you quickly send a mail to the volunteer support as I've done, because that has an implication. If you are showing NTeach now, it means that you have been classified as NTeach and your name will be you'll be deployed to a school. But if you really want NAGRO, then I think let's escalate that to the volunteer support as I've mentioned, and we'll get to it. I've dealt with the issue of deployment letters, but again, let me restate, please don't start to bombard our partners by Monday. Please, I beg you, please, please, please. It's not possible for your letters to be ready on Monday. It's not possible. We only just send the list to the states today. Today is a Friday. They would only just be dealing with the list from Monday, and the process takes a bit. They will send in the state capital where the focal person resides. He or she would have to now disaggregate each of these lists by local government to each of the institutions, in the state, in the local government, who will then have to take a census of knowing how many will go to which school, how many will go to health center. So really and truly, if we want to be honest with ourselves, my brothers and sisters, that really should take no less than 2 weeks in principle. But we have put them also under public pressure because they have also been eager to deploy you so that you can begin to help solve some of our challenges in our communities. So I'm sure that they will do the needful to see to it that you are promptly deployed. But please, let's be patient with them. Let us wait to hear from them on when and where you will pick up your letters. But as I've said, you will most likely pick up your letters in the LGA Secretariat, or the Health Secretariat, or the Agri Development Program at the local government. But one thing I can assure you, you will not have to travel away from your municipality because you should be deployed within your municipality. Now, the last point of Empower 3 process, the tripod, that I've said, it's about learning. You have started to learn on the portal. It's about working to earn, which, yes, you will commence August 1. The last one now is about devices. So yes, please allow us a few time as well. We're working with our partners, as you know, or as you may not know, but now let me let you know. Your seniors in the program were beneficiaries of the devices through the Bank of Industry Asset Finance Program. And the federal government of Nigeria went into partnership with the Bank of Industry through a 20-month asset finance program. And that's why they are all beneficiaries. They are all bearers of the devices. So we are just in the process of finalizing that discussion now with Bank of Industry for your batch. So that will take some time, and before we also upload the vendors who would supply, and then so we will let you know once what they did. And how they did is that a portal, the same MPVM portal where you go to do all the nice stuffs that you do, would also be uploaded with the possible devices from where you will go back there to select. And once you select, we then Bank of Industry will commence the process of procuring it through the vendors, and then distributing to you. So that takes a bit of a process, but we will commence it. We will let you know. For now, continue to learn through the main portal. Use your smart devices for those of you already have it, and you will get to it at some point. NTAX. Please let me let you know that the fourth component of Empower is NTAX, but we do not deploy NTAX from the Empower office. NTAX are deployed by the Federal Ministry of Finance in conjunction with the Joint Tax Board. And you will note that in some of your communities already, NTAX beneficiaries have been activated long before now and have only been working. Some have been activated as far back as September, October 2017. So please, we will not be doing anything with the NTAX. While some of you may have onboarded yourself on the portal, yes, but we can't deploy you, unfortunately. You just have to wait till you are called upon for training and then possible deployment by the Federal Ministry of Finance, VAT team, and our Joint Tax Board. So I have no update for those of you in NTAX, unfortunately. Profile problems, I have mentioned it. If you still have any challenge, go to volunteer support at npvn.ng. Confirmation letter be uploaded. Again, I've said to you already, once you have it, the same way you went and uploaded your ID and uploaded your passport picture, that's exactly the same way. It's not going to take any other way. On that note, I want to wish you a very happy weekend, but just before I go, let me reiterate again, for the benefit of you who may have joined in at the very late. Your commencement, your formal engagement in the Empower program commences August 1st, 2018, and by the grace of God, will lapse for 2 years, July 31, 2020. So please, there is nothing called backlogs or stipends because you onboarded in the month of May or June or July. There's nothing like that. You onboarded so that you could have access to earlier learning than even your colleagues in the earlier batch. And I think, like I said earlier, you must always seize every opportunity to learn. Again, once you have received your deployment letter, do ensure you resume at your assigned primary place of assignment. And when you resume, do ensure that the head of that primary place of assignment either stamps your deployment letter as a form of acceptance or gives you another letter that's called acceptance letter. Either way works. But once you get that, please go and ensure you upload it on the MPVN platform, the same platform wherein you had onboarded yourself before now, on or before August 10. On August 11, we will go back to that portal, and only those of you who have uploaded that confirmation of resumption at your PPA will be processed for payroll for your first stipend, which is due August 31st. Please note, Empower is money for work done. So if you do not even show me a proof that you have gone to resume, why should I pay you? And that you show me a proof that you have gone to resume, and like some of the errant ones in the first batch go the first day and never come again, there's something called payment hold. Payment hold comes when you are reported to have absconded, and we'll put you on payment hold. You'll be there for a short period. If within that short period you are not able to regularize yourself by either being remorseful to continue to go back to work and get an attestation from the head of PPA that yes, you have now resumed and you come to work, we will exit you from the program. Finally, as I said, for every 300,000 of you, there are 6 people, your brothers, your sisters, waiting out there that wish that they were in your shoes. And so please, if you do know that you have no intention whatsoever to fulfill the conditions of this program, I beg of you, don't even start. Exit yourself, or don't even go and confirm yourself, so that we can harvest those slots and be able to call on your fellow brothers and sisters, at least about 1.5 million of them who are waiting and hoping that someday luck will shine on them. On that note, I wish you a very wonderful weekend. I wish you a truly, truly impactful time in the Empower program, and that this is only just the beginning. And like one of my colleagues who is in the comms team said to you earlier in the week, never despise your days of little beginning. If you doubt that, ask those of your volunteers who are doing great things right now, and we would ensure that the comms team showcase their videos and all that for your benefit, just so that you can see how life transforming this opportunity has been. I hope that you will also find time to salute Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari and his Vice, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, for this opportunity, and also that you salute the great men and women who continuously work behind the scene, from our technical partners to our comms team who man the situation room, to ensure that we keep engaged with you at all times. I can only but continue to thank them for their selfless service, and hope that you will join me in thanking them, and also pray you a successful and impactful tenure. We've had cause to bury some in the last batch. I pray and I hope that we'll have no cause to bury any one of you, but that as you start, you would also exit successfully. God bless you. Thank you.